Hey guys, how you doing? In this video, I am going to be talking about what we call coterminal angles. All right, so we're going to determine some of these things called coterminal angles. Okay, so I'll write that here, coterminal angles. And basically what this means, it's, we can go around this circle more than once, right? I can go around once and get to 360, but I could also go all the way around twice, and that would be 360 more. So if I had, what if I wanted to know, if I had the angle 420 degrees, this angle 420 degrees is going to land on one of these parts in the unit circle if I keep going around, right? I go around 360, and then 60 more is going to be 420, right? 420 degrees. So 420 degrees is going to land on 60 degrees right here. Okay, 420 degrees and 60 degrees, okay, they're called coterminal angles because they land on the same spot. Coterminal meaning terminal, their terminal side where they stop is going to be the same. All right, well, the same coordinates. So these are called coterminal. Now, how do we determine what angle this 420 degrees is coterminal with in the unit circle? Because really that's what we're interested in. So there's a couple of ways to do this. What I recommend is just if it's bigger than 360, just subtract 360. Okay, if it's bigger than 360, subtract 360, and you'll get your coterminal angle. Now you're probably saying, well, what if it's much bigger? Like, what if I go around the circle a lot of times? What if I go around the circle? Let's say I want to know 1120. Right? So what do I do then? Well, the easy way. It's a brute force way here, is to just keep subtracting 360 until you get into the unit circle. So if I subtract 360, I'm going to get 760. Well, that's still too big, so I'll subtract 360 again, and that'll give me 400. And then that's still too big, so I'll subtract 360 again, and that'll give me 40 degrees. Well, 40 degrees isn't in the unit circle, but it is between 0 and 360. So this would be our coterminal angle. So what we really want to do is just get it there. Now the other thing you can do is divide this by 360 and just kind of figure out what the remainder is, and that'll give you the angle too. So that's what I recommend if it's bigger than 360. If it's smaller than or if it's negative, because we can have negative angles. All right, just so you know, this direction counterclockwise are positive angles, and then if I go the opposite way, these are negative angles. So this angle here, okay, this is going down 30 degrees. This right here, this is negative 30 degrees right here. Okay, that angle there is negative 30 degrees, or we can say it's also negative pi over 6 radians, because it went pi over 6 up, it's going down negative pi over 6. So that's negative angles. So now what happens if they're negative angles? Well, you just do the opposite. Instead of subtracting 360, you're going to add 360. So if I had negative 250 degrees, and I want to know what the angle coterminal to that is, I would just add 360. All right, so I just add 360 degrees, and I would get 110 degrees. All right, so that would be my coterminal angle with negative 250. So again, if you go negative, just add 360, and again, if it's a negative big number, then you just keep adding 360. Okay, so that's degrees. So what do we do? What do we do here if it's radian? Well, radians, it's about the same idea too, right? We can, instead of subtracting 360, we're going to subtract 2 pi, right? Because 2 pi is what 360. Okay, 2 pi is 360. So what about let's do 7 pi over 3. Oh, we're gonna 7 pi over 3. 7 pi over 3 is bigger, right? Because the last pi over 3 has 5 pi over 3, so it's bigger than 2 pi, and we know that's 6 pi over 3. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to subtract 2 pi. Subtract 2 pi. And 2 pi, we're going to need a common denominator, right? So that's 6 pi over 3. And 7 pi minus 6 pi is 1 pi, so we get pi over 3. And that is our coterminal angle with 7 pi over 3. All right, so it's the same thing. If it's bigger, we're going to subtract 2 pi. I think what happens here, though, is it gets tricky when we get something like 53 pi over 6, right? That's pretty big. That goes around the circle a lot. In fact, it goes around the circle 8 times, and it keeps going. How do I know 8 times? Well, if I divide 53 by 6, that's 8 with a remainder of 5, right? So I know it goes around, this is 2 pi, so it goes around 2 pi, and then again to 4 pi, then again to 6 pi, then again to 8 pi, okay? So I know this goes around the circle 4 times here. So what am I going to do? Well, I could do like I did up here and subtract 2 pi. And if I subtract 2 pi, I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to end up getting 53 pi over 6 minus, you know, what's this, 12 pi over 6? Okay, which is going to give me 41 pi over 6. But you know what? That's still not small enough. It's still not in the unit circle. I have to subtract 12 pi again. And I can keep subtracting 12 pi over 6 and 12 pi over 6 and 12 pi over 6. And eventually, if I keep subtracting, my answer is going to be 5 pi over 6. Now, I could do that. That works. But there's a method that you can do to make it a little bit easier. Remember when I just said I know that it went around 4 times because if I divided 6 into 53, I get 8 with a remainder, right? Well, if I get all the way back with those 8 times, that remainder is going to be 5 pi over 6. Watch this. 53, 6 goes into 53 8 times. 8 times. With a remainder of 5. This remainder is my coterminal angle if this is even, because even means I ended up here. If this is odd, I would end up here, okay, and then I would actually have to subtract another pi from it. So that's one way you can figure out these radians. And again, this works if it's negative. If it's negative, you're just going to add 2 pi. It works the same way. Okay, if it's negative, it works the same way. You just add it, and then you can find the coterminal angle. All right. So just because I don't want to leave you, hanging here, I'm going to do one that's negative and it's big, so you can see what to do with it. Okay. So I'm just going to erase this stuff here. And that'll be it. That's it for this video. But I wanted to give you a good example here, so that way you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's say I have something like negative 121 pi over 3. Obviously here I'm not going to go and keep adding, 6 pi over 3 every time. That's going to take me forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this. 121 divided by 3 is going to give me 40. With the remainder, 40 with a remainder of 1. Right. So what this is going to do is it's going to go negatively. It's going to go around this way. Okay, and it's a 40, so it's an even number. So it's going to end up right here. Okay, it's going to end up right here, and it's going to have a remainder of a negative pi over 3 more. So it's going to go all the way around, and then it's going to get here, and it's going to go one more down this way to negative pi over 3, which leaves us with a coterminal angle of 11 pi over, oops, I didn't go enough, 5 pi over 3. Okay. So that's how you would do something that's very large and has a negative. Okay, so there you go, folks. Coterminal angles. Talk to you soon. Bye.